Anti-hunger advocates say the U.S. is facing an unprecedented rise in food insecurity following persistently high inflation in the grocery aisle and cuts to the food stamp program earlier this year. Experts say despite the economy being strong and unemployment rates being low, many people just don't earn enough to cover the surging cost of living. This causes many to make trade-offs like skipping meals. Now, we understand how difficult it can be to save and manage your money. So joining me now to give tips on what you can do to help alleviate the issue, local accountant Tyler Dees from Dees & Company, a familiar face here, and financial planner Joe Dunot. Am I saying that right?
You are, that's great.
There we go, Mr. Joe from Sturkey Wealth Management. Now, first up, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Bright and early on a Monday morning. That's how committed they are to helping you save money, getting up very early. So I want to throw this first question at you guys. A recent survey from Bankrate shows rising interest rates, inflation, and unstable income are damaging the mental well-being of a growing number of Americans. In fact, money was cited by 52% of survey participants as having a negative impact on their mental health. So with all of this in mind, the big question is, how can people save money, especially in today's economy?
I'll take this one. So I think the best way to save money, honestly, is you need to come up with a budget. You know, in order to really save money, you need to know how much you have coming in and out of your household. So I think the best place to start is with a budget, see how much you have coming in on a monthly basis. Then maybe look at your monthly expenses from there and see what's left. You know, if you have a goal, say I want to save $5 or $10,000 a year, I think the best way to do that is by creating a budget and then going from there.
Very good information there. Now, Joe, I'm gonna throw this question to you. What are the best places to store and grow your money?
Yeah, like Tyler mentioned, oftentimes 3 to 6 months of expenses is a great target for emergency savings. We always use the acronym TAG. You want to have it tax advantaged. In order to get it, you don't want to have to pay unnecessary taxes. It's accessible and there's growth potential. So these days you can get CDs, money market accounts, all that pay a nice interest rate, but always make sure it's tax advantaged, accessible, and it has growth potential.
And I want to throw another question at you real quick, Joe. When we talk about emergency savings, how much is a good number to have in case of emergencies?
Yeah, we work with a number of clients and it really depends on how you get paid. A nurse, a teacher, very predictable income, right? A little bit tougher if you're in sales, if you're a real estate agent or a sales executive. So you don't want to get into a credit card situation where extra bills go on that credit card. So it starts with a budget. 3 to 6 months of expenses is helpful. More if your income is variable. Very
good information there. Now, Tyler, you know, people don't like taxes. They don't like filing their taxes, right? However, people do enjoy the tax refund, but what we hear a lot, especially when we're talking about money, is using the tax refund wisely. You don't want to just go out and spend it on like a extravagant item. So how can you use your tax refund wisely?
So I think the best place to start is, you know, if you get a decent tax refund, you probably want to pay off your high interest debt, such as credit cards. That's probably where I'd start from there. Maybe go on to pay monthly bills that maybe you're behind, especially if you're getting hit with late fees, because honestly you're just throwing money away if you're paying interest and then paying late fees. So I would start there and then you know, maybe after that, maybe build up your emergency savings and go from there.
All right, those are 3 good places to put that money. I know y'all didn't want to hear that. I know you wanted to buy that bag or that shoe, but really we got to make sure we're using our money well. All right, Joe, this next one's for you. According to Federal Reserve data, total credit card debt reached a record $4.8 trillion in March. As many low and even middle income families are increasingly turning to credit cards to purchase essentials like groceries. So with this in mind, what are some ways people can choose the best credit card for them? And a big thing, how do they avoid going into debt?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tyler started with a budget. I'll bring it back to that, knowing the money that goes in and goes out every single month. In terms of credit card, the best kind is the one that you don't carry a balance on. And if you do have to use credit cards, try to use one with either cashback or rewards points that go towards something that you like.
All right, good information there. All right, so if folks want to get in contact with you, you've given us so much wisdom and they want to learn even more, how can they get in contact with you, Tyler?
They can go online to dcpas.com. Feel free to reach out, schedule a consultation if you want to know more information.
Perfect. And Mr. Joe?
So I think I'm the only do not in South Carolina. If you just Google Joe Do Not, you'll get to our website.
And that's spelled D-U-N-A-T.
That's right.
There you go. All right. We appreciate y'all again coming on, telling us how we can all save money, especially during times that we're seeing right now.